for this Maryland squad. They're looking to get him back at some point, Jackson.
Yeah, for sure. He's obviously made a big impact on the squad. Coit's second free throw goes.
Now in for the Terrapins, a 6'5" freshman from Córdoba, Spain, number 18.
And now Guillermo Del Pino will check in. Del Pino started the first couple games of the season, but really didn't see much action in them.
Yeah, no action versus Marquette on Saturday, but this is a guy that can stretch the floor well. He's got good size, and outside the arc, you do not want to leave him open.
Here comes Mount St. Mary's. Maryland doubling ball up top. It's Keys. Has Olston on him. 12 seconds left on the shot clock now. The drive, no good. Offensive rebound from DeVoe. Won't go, but he'll go to the line. As we will go to the under-16 media timeout. Maryland leading Mount St. Mary's 6-4. 15 minutes, 40 seconds left to go here at the Xfinity Center on WMUC Sports. We'll be back with you in a moment.
And the voice of the Terps, Johnny Holiday.
Yeah, that's not good.
In honor of his 1500th men's basketball game on the Maryland Sports Radio Network, and on behalf of the Maryland Athletics Department, Jim will now present Johnny with a commemorative game ball.
Yeah, we gotta fix that.
This incredible milestone, Johnny Holiday.
That's not good.
Right now, what part could it not hear? Right now, we're good. Muted. I think that's why I was trying to tell you. I can hear us. I know, that's what I was trying to tell you. We're gonna fix it. Alright, let's go. Back with you now at the Xfinity Center as Maryland looks. We're coming out of the under-16 timeout here. Maryland leading Mount St. Mary's 6-4. 15 minutes, 40 seconds left to play. Some early sloppy turnovers from the Mountaineers. They're going to look to fix that. As we get set, it'll be some free throws here for Trey DeVoe. DeVoe, transfer from Western Illinois. Graduate student, averaging 11 points on the season. His first free throw will not go. DeVoe's second free throw. will not go. Here's Maryland in a high press. Del Pino under some pressure. And it's going to be a turnover for Maryland. Something that they've struggled with. As Watson now kicks it out to Adams in the corner. We apologize for some technical difficulties we're facing here. It's now 7-6 Mount St. Mary's. It's Maryland early turnover as Darius Adams drives to the cup. And he will go to the line for free throws. Maryland had a turnover. You weren't able to hear it. Maryland had an early turnover. Guillermo Del Pino was double teamed in the full court trap. Something that Maryland has seriously struggled playing against. They oftentimes have gotten kind of flustered in those moments, but Darius Adams with 15-11 left will look to give them the lead back. True freshman misses his first free throw. Adams, native of Manchester, New Jersey. Tied a season high in points with 16 against Marquette on Saturday. He's a 82% free throw shooter this season. His second free throw will bounce in. Another substitution here for Buzz Williams. Andre Mills will take Darius Adams. Del Pino thought he was coming out for a minute. But here comes Orlandis Keys now. It's going to get it to Xavier Lipscomb. Maryland with the half-court trap. Keys now guarded by Del Pino. 15 minutes left to go. 7-7. DeVoe kicks it out to Rosekias. Rosekias comes around up top. Rosekias cuts down. Tries to swing out. Tries to get a pass off. He's going to get it to Keys. 5 seconds left on the shot clock. The three is good. 10-7. 14:40 left to go. Del Pino's going to take the ball up. He's picked up by Rosekias. He's going to get it to Olston. Olston swings it to Mills on the wing. Del Pino at the top of the key. Spinning around. Goes left. Kicks it out to Saunders. Saunders drives inside. Layup and one. Saunders has the chance at a three-point play and to tie the game with 14:24 left.
And how about Saunders attacking on that last play there, Jackson? He's a guy that more so on the offensive rebounding, defensive rebounding guy, really known for his defense, but that's what Maryland needs right now, is a guy on the defensive end to step up and attack on offense, and Saunders well done there.
Saunders, a Virginia transfer, had 8 points and 11 rebounds against Marquette. He's someone who Maryland is going to look to see step up offensively. His free throw will not go, but Isaiah Watts tries to pull in the offensive rebound. There's a scrum for it on the floor. It's looking like it's going to be a jump ball. And it will be possession Mount St. Mary's. Maryland struggling from the free throw line early tonight. Something that they've generally done well as a team this season, but 14:20 left. It's 10-9 Mount St. Mary's. Lipscomb taking the ball up now. He's going to be guarded by Mills. Lipscomb swings it out to Rosekias. Here's Trey DeVoe up top. Lipscomb on the left wing. Here's Orlandis Keys. Gets a screen from Yakia Diop, but they're going to lose the ball. Saunders gets it over to Diggy Coit, who's going to run the ball up the floor. He's going to drive with his left hand, and he's blocked. Yakia Diop. That's his third block of the season. It will stay Maryland possession, but really nice defense right there from the Mountaineers.
Great transition there from Coit, though, too. Got the steal on the defensive end, took it coast to coast, and not afraid to just go downhill and attack right off the bat. That's what they need. 75% of the time, Coit might get fouled, and he might go to the line. Right now, Maryland needs a guy to step up to do just that.
Coit tries to throw the ball up to Mills, who's almost loses it, but he's going to swing it out to Watts on the wing, drives in with his left hand. At the right elbow, pulls up from the mid-range, it goes. 11-10 Maryland. Just under 14 minutes left, approaching 13.5. Here's Keys now. He's guarded by Saunders at the top. He's going to swing it down to Lipscomb on the wing. Near the Maryland bench, he's going to get a screen. Tries to drive baseline, gets under the hoop, lays it up, and good. Nice interior offense from the graduate. It's 12-11 Mount St. Mary's. We got a back and forth affair here. About to hit 13 minutes left. Here's Saunders at the top. He's going to swing it to Mills. Jump stop. Throws it up, and it's good. A nice contested shot from Mills.
Yeah, I think what Mills was going for when he was attacking the basket is trying to stretch the floor. It looked like he looked to the corner as Watts was stretching the floor out, but he just decided to throw that one up, and good for Mills there.
Mills has got 3 points. Here's Rose Kias, gets a screen from Diop, pulls up from 3, heavily contested by Watts. No good. Diop tried to save it, but Saunders corrals it. Over to Coit now, who's going to run the ball up. Gets it to Saunders. Saunders tries to drive, another jump stop, lays it up, and will draw another foul. Maryland will go right back to the line.
And Saunders, too, back-to-back opportunities attacking the basket there, back-to-back times getting fouled. Saunders, a guy that, like you said, transferred from Virginia, and so far this year he's 80% from the line. And as for tonight, Saunders is 0 for 1, so trying to recoup those losses.
Maryland 4 for 7 as a squad. 12:37 left to go. Saunders gets set. His first free throw will go. And we are already seeing that this could be a closer game than some maybe thought. No, James, you were talking about that before. Saunders gets ready to take his second free throw. On the season, Saunders is 80% from the line. The second will go as well. Saunders now 3 for 4 from the line. He's got 4 points. Sorry, Saunders will come out of the game right now. It'll be Alston checking back in. Here's Mason So, coming in after 2 early fouls. Here's Rose Kias. He tries to drive left. He takes it inside, fakes out a couple Maryland defenders. Shot will not go. Metcalf with the board.
A strong rebound there from Metcalf.
It's first of the day. Here's Coit now. Metcalf up top. Watts right next to him. He's got it now. On the wing. Fakes. Drives. Alston now. That's a wing 3. It goes! Alex Alston has taken 2 3-point shots on the season. He's made his first, and Maryland's got a 7-0 run going. 18-12 here. Just under 12 minutes left to go. Rose Kias pump fakes on the 3. He'll try to match it. He will. Rose Kias, his first points of the day. It's 18-15 now, 11:43 left. Coit's got it. He stops his dribble, swings it to Mills on the corner, tries to drive baseline, kicks it out to Metcalf, who will lose it. So thought about going for it, but will not. He'll let it go out of bounds. And we have reached the under 12 timeout here at the Xfinity Center. 18-15 Maryland, 11:34 left to go. We will be back with you in a moment. Welcome back here to the Xfinity Center on WMUC Sports. Maryland leads Mount St. Mary's 18-15 with 11:34 left to go as we are about to come out of the under 12 timeout. Jackson Wantman joined alongside James Consoli. And James, Maryland's a team that's generally struggled from three this season. They came into the game shooting just 30% from behind the line, but they're getting aggressive from behind the arc so far.
Yeah, you got that right, Jackson. They definitely are shooting 40% from beyond the arc. Mount St. Mary's at 60%. They both have 5 attempts, so Mount St. Mary's has made 3, Maryland's made 2. That accounts for why it's only a 3-point lead for Maryland. But so far, what Maryland's been able to do is attack for the free throw line, and they have 3 times the number of attempts so far that Mount St. Mary's has. The Terps are 6 for 9 from the line. Mount St. Mary's 2 for 3. Both shooting 67% from the line, but a tale of two cities on that mark.
Oh, Mount St. Mary's will inbound here. It's Mason So. Maryland picking them up half court. Darius Adams is checked back into the game. Here's So now. Down in the corner. It's Haig and tries a swing a pass to Rose Kias. This is going to go out of bounds. Another turnover for Mount St. Mary's.
Very rarely do you see a cross-court pass from both baselines actually work out there, and only in the pros there, but it's a good attempt from Mount St. Mary's to change things up.
Here's Mills at the top of the key, swings it. Here's Saunders now. He pulls up from 3, no good.
Yeah, I think for Maryland, just going to have to stick to what they're good at. I don't know about the Saunders 3 there. I think he's a lot better at going to the basket. And for Maryland to stay in this one, they're going to have to do what they know.
A little bit of a broken offensive play from Mount St. Mary's. Here's Coit now. Here's Olston up top. Swings it to Saunders down low. Saunders posts up, lays in with his left hand, won't go. And that's into the hands of Patrick Haig, seeing his first minutes tonight. Here's So now. So tries a cross up. Olston kicks it to Rose Kias in the corner. No good again. Olston's got the rebound. Mills will take it up. 10.5 minutes left to go in the first half. Maryland leads 18-15. A back and forth close affair so far. Mills now working on Haig. Drives it in, falls down in a shot, won't go. It's McKeldin with the rebound. Here comes So. Mountaineers moving up the court with pace. Haig swings it up top. McKeldin's got it. Here's So. Guarded by Saunders. Here's McKeldin now guarded by Coit. He's going to try to swing a pass all the way to Haig. Here's Rose Kias at the top of the key. It goes. Tie game at 18, just under 10 minutes left. Good offense right there from the Mountaineers, catching Maryland in the double team. As Coit will take it up. Gets it to Mills now. Olston at the top of the key. Back over to Coit in the left wing. 15 seconds left in the shot clock. Saunders has got it. Saunders tries to drive. Saunders throws up with his right hand, no good. Adams tries to get the rebound. He fights for it. He'll get it, and he'll get the foul on the putback. Good hustle right there from the 5-star true freshman. And he will go to the line.
Yeah, and I mean, this is an attempt here for Adams to get to that line. A free throw, 82-83% shooter, right smack dab in the middle between those two. But this is the 4th highest ranked recruit in Maryland history. This is a guy they expect to have a lot of upside, and if there's any good time to attack the basket and to show off your prowess, it's right now.
Adams will miss his first free throw, taking his 3rd and 4th attempts, as Metcalf will check into the game for Alston. Also Xavier Lipscomb and Orlandis Keys coming back into the game for Rose Kias and So. Maryland 6 for 10 from the line tonight as a unit. Adams originally committed to UConn before decommitting and flipping to Buzz Williams and the Terps, as that free throw will go. And Isaiah Watts will check into the game. He'll take Mills. As Xavier Lipscomb will take it up now. 19-18 Maryland, 9.5 minutes left to go. Here comes Lipscomb. Swings it out to Haig. Amadi. Pops it back off to Lipscomb in the left wing. It's McKeldin down low, guarded by Metcalf. He swings out to Haig. That almost went out of bounds. Here's Lipscomb now. Gets a screen at the elbow. Tries to get it down low to Amadi. Amadi now quickly double teamed, and Watts going to help force that ball out. Adams dives for it, throws it out to Watts, who flies down the court. He kicks it out to Coit. His 3 goes! Defense to offense for the Terps, and that's a quick timeout. for Donnie Lynn. That might be the best, consecutive plays we've seen all game here, James.
Yeah, I mean, you just see it on defense. That's exactly why Buzz Williams gets a guy like Darius Adams to come here. He's laying his body out on the hardwood to turn that defensive possession into offense, and just great transition ball we've seen all season from the Terps.
Yeah, 22-18, Maryland here, 8:53, just a 30-second timeout, so we'll stick with you here on WMEC Sports. And yeah, we talk about Adams, James. He's struggled shooting this season. He's just 26% from the field coming into tonight, 11% from three, but where you've seen him be really aggressive so far this season, whether it's driving to the hoop. We see those hustle plays right there. I think if you're a coach, especially Buzz Williams, you can fix a player's shot. You can put Darius Adams in the gym with the shot machine, tell him to take 100 shots a day. But that, you can't teach hustle like that right there. That shows you that a player cares and wants to win.
Yeah, you can't teach that. You have that right, Jackson. And just for Darius Adams, he's able to fill up the stat sheet across the board. 16 points, 3 assists, and 7 rebounds in his last outing versus Marquette, all season high. So it's not just about scoring for him.
Trey DeVoe checking in for the Mountaineers. Here's Patrick Haig. Swings it to DeVoe on the wing. Sorry, that's Orlandis Keys. Now DeVoe's got it. He faked a pass. He's going to take a three, and it goes. 22-21. Mount St. Mary's 5 for 8 from deep tonight. Very impressive, 62% clip. Here's Coit, gets it to Adams, who's going to bring it up top. Here's Isaiah Watts on the right wing, gets it to Colin Metcalf. He's going to swing it to Adams now, tries to set him a screen. Adams will go right, he'll pull up from three, won't go. Metcalf with the rebound and the quick putback. Cannot answer, he had a point-blank range from just inches away. Here's Trey DeVoe, trying to back down Isaiah Watts. Now double teamed by Adams, he puts it up, and it goes. Trey DeVoe, 6 points. Very, very aggressive play from the graduate forward. Here's Coit. Now swings it to Adams. Adams will come around up top. Metcalf quickly flips it back to him. Adams drives, puts it up, and it goes. An aggressive finish. 24-23 Maryland. 7:35 left in the first half. Here's Lipscomb. And a foul will be called here, and that will take us to the under 8 timeout here. 7:34 left to play. Maryland leads Mount St. Mary's 24-23. Foul goes on Colin Metcalf. We will resume play in a moment. Welcome back to the Xfinity Center as we approach the end of the under 8 timeout. 7:34 left to go here in the first half. Maryland leads 24-23. Jackson Wantman alongside my partner James Consoli. And James, let's talk about the rebound battle a little bit. Maryland winning 12-10, or losing 12-10, I should say, not getting dominated, but Mount St. Mary's doing a lot better on the defensive glass.
Yeah, they have been, especially in guarding Maryland's bigs like Metcalf or Alston. Neither one has been able to finish like fantastic around the glass. Even Saunders, a guy that attacks the basket hard, has gotten fouled on every time he's gone to the bucket, but no and ones yet for Saunders tonight.
Lipscomb will inbound. Mount St. Mary's ball. It's going to go out, staying on this side. Guillermo Del Pino is checked into the game for the Terps. He took out Colin Metcalf. There's another inbound. Here's McKeldin. Got it, swings it to Lipscomb, drives baseline. He's going to kick it out to Rose Kias in the corner for 3. No good. Alston with the rebound. Here's Del Pino running it up the left side. He cuts down center. He's at the top of the key now. It's a soft screen from Alston. Alston has it now. Here's Adams. Adams at the top, swings it to Del Pino. Del Pino kicks out to Saunders. He's got an open 3 from the top of the key, off the back of the rim. Alston tried to tip it out, but it's in McKeldin's hands. Here's Xavier Lipscomb. 7 minutes left to go. Here's Trey DeVoe, tries a couple pump fakes. He's going to swing it to Lipscomb. Rose Kias now swings it back up to Lipscomb. Rose Kias guarded by Del Pino. He's on the wing. He's going to cross-court pass to Arlandis Keys. Tries to drive on Adams. Here's DeVoe. Close shot won't go. Elijah Saunders with the rebound. Saunders' 3rd board of the game. Del Pino. Adams has got it. He's right on the wing. Del Pino. Saunders. Back to Isaiah Watts, who's driving on his left hand. Kicks out to Olsen in the corner for 3. And that is a air ball, just a little too much mustard on it. Here's Keys, it's going to go off his feet. He's going to corral it, gets it to Lipscomb. Rose Kias now. Swings it to McKeldin down low. Saunders gave him a good angle, and that's an easy roll. Elijah Saunders right there had his back to the M at center court, not his back to the hoop, and that made it easy for McKeldin on the spin move. Here's Adams now on the wing. 25-24 Mount St. Mary's. 6 minutes left to go, and we're going to get a foul here on the floor. We're going to get a couple of check-ins right here. That's Arlandis Keys' 2nd foul. Andre Mills will check into the game for the Terps. He'll take Alston.
And I think going back to that last possession for the Mount on offense, just able to swing the ball so effectively, and when they get it down to their bigs in the post, it's barbecue chicken.
Here's Adams now. 2 for 4 from the line tonight. The 1-and-1 is good. So he will take his 2nd. Checking in the game for the first time for the Mountaineers is Elijah Espinoza, the redshirt freshman. He's only played a total of 19 minutes across 4 games, but standing at 6'9", hopefully providing some rebounding help for the Mountaineers as Adams goes 2 for 2 from the line. 26-25 Maryland. 6 minutes left to go here. Here comes Lipscomb. On the right side, guarded by Adams. He tries to drive. Adams falls and will take the charge. The true freshman continues to put his body on the line. And Maryland now has an opportunity to turn more defense into offense. Lipscomb, it's another foul for him. It's his 2nd of the night. 5:58 left to go here. As Adams will take it up. Rose Kias picking him up early. Adams runs up the right side, flips it up to Watts. Watts drives, gets a nice lane, but he's met at the rim. Here's Mills now, is able to corral it. Gets it back out to Adams. 15 seconds left on the shot clock. Adams now swings it to Saunders. Saunders drives on his left hand, backs him down, spins, lays it up with his right hand, just can't go. There's another fight. Lipscomb comes up with it. Buzz Williams urging his guys to get down. Here's Rose Kias. Del Pino picks him up. A 3-ball. No good from DeVoe. Rebounded by Andre Mills. Maryland playing from transition offense. Rose Kias tried to poke it away, but Mills keeps it, gets it to Adams. Here's Watts now. Thought of taking the 3, almost jumped with the ball, but he's going to swing it to Elijah Saunders, who is fouled in the paint, and it looks like he will go to the line to shoot 2.
Saunders trying to catch up with Adams with the amount of free throws that they've been able to take tonight and generate for the Terps. Adams with 4 for 6. Saunders going back to the line for his 3rd trip.
Saunders, 4 points, 3 rebounds on the night. 26-25 Maryland, 5:09 left. Make it 27-25. And James, it feels like every time that Maryland has taken sort of a 2-score lead, obviously if Saunders even makes this free throw, it'll be a 3-point game. Mount St. Mary's has not let this game get out of hand. They've been running with Maryland very well.
No, it's absolutely back and forth when you're exactly right. When Maryland scores, it's the Mount coming back and dominating in the paint or spreading the floor out. In their last couple 3-point field goals, they've actually struggled. They're 5 for 10 now, but Maryland even worse, shooting 30% from beyond the arc.
Del Pino comes out, Coit comes in. Maryland playing a bit of a full court trap here. Here's DeVoe now. Saunders hovers over him. DeVoe tries to swing it out, but the ball's deflected. Diggy Coit's got it. He flies up the left side of the court. Saunders at the top of the key, pump fakes, drives, fakes again inside the paint, lays it in. 30-25 Maryland.
And Jackson, it was only a matter of time for Saunders to start to dominate in the paint and find his footing in Maryland's court.
Almost an errant pass to Rose Kias, Watts and Mills cornering him. And Donnie Lind is able to get a quick timeout before a potential turnover. And a lot of noise being made here in Maryland in the Xfinity Center. Some momentum for the Terps. 4:30 left to go in the first half. Maryland playing with a lot of energy as some noise is being made here in the Xfinity Center. James, what are you seeing from Maryland right now?
I think I'm obviously hyped up for Maryland. That's as the rest of Xfinity in this crowd is, but I think they were talking about the fact that maybe head coach Donnie Lind was getting a little loud with the referee, so not sure if it was the case for a technical or what it was. It didn't look like there was too much going on, but obviously some words being exchanged.
So we will come out of the 30-second timeout. Buzz Williams is basically at the free throw line right now.
I don't think Maryland has a sixth man. I think it's Buzz Williams because he spends more time on the court than most of the guys on the bench.
And there might be another reason as to why a lot of noise is being made here in the Xfinity Centers as play comes on here. 10 seconds left in the shot clock for Mount St. Mary's. We'll get it to you in just a moment as the three from Keys is good. We'll see if that was about Donnie Lind, but we have some breaking news right here as 5-star class of 2026 forward Baba Oladoden, consensus top 10 player in the nation, has committed to Maryland. He has chosen the Terps over Georgetown, Kentucky, and Arkansas. That is the third 5-star in 3 years from Maryland. They had Derek Queen in the class of 2024. They had Darius Adams in the class of 2025, and a humongous, program shifting potential pickup for Buzz Williams as Darius Adams back at the line here.
That's definitely what all the commotion was about. You still see students on their feet in this one. Absolutely ecstatic to see that. A big pickup for the Terps, especially amidst some early struggles so far this season.
Buzz Williams with a new reshaped roster as Darius Adams' second free throw goes, make it 32-28, 4 minutes left. When you see a lot of roster players that Maryland fans may not be familiar with, now we have a big name coming next year, but back to the product on the floor. Here's Espinoza, gets it to Lipscomb on the wing. Saunders tips it out, but Lipscomb gets it back. 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Here's Rose Kias, closely guarded by Mills. They're gonna need to throw up a shot. Haig tries to draw the foul, no good, and a shot clock violation. It didn't hit the rim. 3:33 left to go.
And Jackson, that's like the second one the Terps have almost forced. That first one was a turnover right before the shot clock expired, but that one was a defined shot clock violation, so good on Maryland.
As we will go to the under 4 timeout here, but obviously a lot to be excited right here in Terpsville. We welcome you back here on WMEC Sports Radio to the Xfinity Center as Maryland leads Mount St. Mary's 32-28. 3:33 left to go. An exciting game so far, but obviously exciting news for the future of Maryland with 5-star Baba Oladotin committing to Maryland just moments ago. A huge pickup for Buzz Williams and his staff. Jackson Wantman alongside James Consoli as Dave Coit will inbound off the timeout. He gets it to Isaiah Watts. Coit will now take the ball up. Gets a flare screen from Mills. Kicks it back out to Mills. Here's Watts now on the right wing. Turns around, kicks it out to Mills. Sidesteps. Back out to Watts in the corner. And he lost that out of bounds. Would have had an open three if he was able to corral it. As Mount St. Mary's will inbound.
Yeah, tough possession to come back from, especially going on offense, hoping to generate something at that last timeout, but for Maryland, just unable to do just that.
Here's Haig, swings it to Lipscomb. Lipscomb gets a screen from McElden and a wild pass, but it looked like it was tipped off Andre Mills, so it will stay Mount St. Mary's possession. 3:04 left to go here in the first 20 minutes of play. Maryland leads Mount St. Mary's 32-28.
And what's impressive for Maryland so far is they have 3 scorers exactly with 8 points, close to double-digit mark. Last game they had 4 scorers in double digits.
Here's Haig. McElden trying to drive on Saunders, tries to back him down, but Mills comes in, tries to poke the ball out. Rosakias, 3 will not go. Coit's got it. Tries to use a screen from Saunders, flips it out. Darius Adams has it, coming over the top. He tries to drive. Multiple Mount St. Mary's players on him. Here's Watts, a deep contested 3, and that is no good. It will, in fact, touch nothing but air, as it will go out of bounds, 2:30 left.
Big surprise there from Watts, a guy that last game just 3 for 4 from three-point land. Tonight he is 0 for 1.
Here's Justin Amati. Corners Haig, Lipscomb now double teamed by Watts and Coit inside. Here's Rosakias. Flips it out to Lipscomb. Pump fakes a corner 3, but it looks like he took a step. It's going to be a travel.
Yeah,
Maryland wanted it, they got it.
Yeah, a little up and down there from Lipscomb.
4 turnovers in the last 4 minutes for Mount St. Mary's. They haven't scored in 2 minutes as well. Here's Coit now. Takes it up the floor. Mills over to Watts now on the wing. Swings it to Adams. Adams passes it over to Coit on the opposite wing. Coit tries to drive with the left hand. Kicks it out to Saunders. The 3 at the top of the key goes. That's 4 for 12 from deep for the Terps so far. It's 11 for Saunders. That's team leading. It's now 35-28 Maryland. Keldon drives an aggressive take to make it 35-30. We're in the last 90 seconds of play here as Coit taking his time offensively. Gets it to Adams now. Adams pulls it up top. Gets it to Mills in the corner. Mills a 3. No good. Maryland taking a lot of 3s so far. That's her 13th. Lipscomb over to Haig. Haig takes it now. Rosakias, his 3, no good. Saunders corrals it over to Coit. Under a minute left to go here, 35-30 Terps. Watts has got it now. 20 seconds left on the shot clock. Tries a couple crosses. Near the elbow, gets it to Adams up top. Coit, 13 seconds up on the shot clock. Gets a screen from Saunders, decides not to use it, pulls up, long 2, good. 37-30 with 37 seconds left. 7-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Here's Lipscomb. Guarded by Adams. Gets a screen from Rosakias, who's got it on the wing. Flips it inside McElden, and he is going to go uncontested. Coit and Saunders cannot corral him. 37-32. The last 15 seconds of the half. Adams has got it. What will he decide to do here? Rosakias is on him. 6 seconds left. 5 seconds left. Screen from Saunders. Adams pulls up from 3. No good, but the foul. And Donnie Lynn is not happy with the referees, and Adams will have a chance to make this a 8-point game going to the half. No good on the three, but he draws the foul. 2.3 seconds left to go here. And Adams with 8 points, 2 rebounds, and a steal on the night so far. Hopefully, we'll get the last 3 points of the half for either side. First free throw goes. Adams made some hustle plays so far tonight. Gets set for his second free throw. It will go. Maryland has really cleaned up the free throw shooting so far. With 15 of 19, they made 9 straight. Third shot from Adams goes. Buzz Williams make a quick substitution. Del Pino will take Coit. We'll see how the Terps play this here. Isaiah Watts will try to pick up quickly. The ball goes out on the inbound. Stolen by Del Pino. And that will do it in that half quarter. He got it off in time, was close. So that will do it for the first half of play here in the Xfinity Center. Maryland leads Mount St. Mary's 40-32. James, what are your thoughts?
So far, Maryland just able to start off strong. Obviously, three-pointers haven't been going their way, shooting 31%, but earned a lot of their points. 16 of their 40 points coming from the free throw line. Maryland's been able to capitalize off turnovers with 11 points off turnovers. Maryland showing a lot of versatility across their lineup tonight, but for Mount St. Mary's, able to stay in this one, and obviously the end of the half wasn't what they wanted to have pictured, but that's why there's a second half of basketball.
So that will do it. We will take a break here and be back with you for the second 20 minutes left to go in the Xfinity Center. An exciting game and exciting news out of College Park, Maryland tonight. Maryland leads Mount St. Mary's 40-32. We will be back with you soon.
Back here in College Park as the Terps up 40-32 at the half. Did a great job scoring off turnovers and now trying to get it from three as Diggy Coit from outside seals that one as the Terps score first coming out of the second half.
Coit had a nice first half, picking it up offensively. 13 points on the day for him so far. Very impressive.
As Rosa tries to beat the press, Lipscomb able to get it across half court for the Terps. Here's Rosa outside the arc. Caius guarded closely by Coit. There's Justin Amati going to try a little floater off the glass. Not going to go. Amati gets his own rebound, puts it back up, and gets it to go. Little two-point nifty shot off the glass there from Amati as now we see a little bit of a press from Mount St. Mary's. Diggy Coit has no problem with that. Lipscomb guarding at the top of the key. Here he finds Metcalf coming up at the wing. Little pin down screen there for Metcalf. Diggy Coit working, shouldering. Here's Coit. Gonna find, looks like Mills goes to the rack and gets it to go. Beautiful take there from Mills as he goes and evades the pressure.
Mills staying aggressive right there. Didn't get phased by the contact, stayed composed. Nice job right there, finishing physically.
So Mills now going to try and earn that bucket back at the line and get one, complete the three-point play. And we're going to see our first sub, a real quick one. Rosa Caius coming out, coming in. Mason So started for the Mount tonight. Here's Mills. That one's off the back iron. Here's the rebound here from Darius Adams. Adams working so well on the glass. Gets it up to Mills up top. Now to Coit. And now everybody getting touches. Elijah Saunders getting touches. Here's Darius Adams with a screen off Metcalf. Finds in the corner here. Looks like it's going to be Saunders. That one's not going to go for three. In transition now. Here is Lipscomb. And now back over to Keys. Lipscomb able to find Luke McKeldin. McKeldin going to find So. So's going to try from outside. So's going to seal that one and get a three for the Mount.
So has been excellent so far tonight. He's been very smooth offensively, giving this Terps defense problems.
Here's Diggy Coit going out and attacking at the other end immediately. Gets fouled going to the racks. The bench from Mount St. Mary's does not like it, led by head coach Donnie Lind.
And I don't know how much you can really blame him. The disparity in free throw shots this game has been pretty wide. Maryland has taken 21 free throws. They're about to take their 22nd and 23rd. Mount St. Mary's has taken just 3. It's going to be 20 more free throws after these two for Maryland.
And that is attributed in part to a lot of outside shooting for the Mount, as now Coit going to seal that first one from the line. And Diggy Coit so far tonight is 3 of 3 from the free throw line. Hopefully he doesn't get the announcer's jinx here, and he's able to get 4 of 4. Coit and the Terps lead by 10. Here crossing half court right now is Mason So with the ball. So a little nifty behind the back, guarded by Saunders. Now Orlandis Keys going to drive in, and here's a dish to McKeldin. McKeldin able to get that one off the glass to go.
Nice job right there from McKeldin. They're using the paint very, very well tonight from Mount St. Mary's. Really, taking advantage of Maryland's lack of size.
Here's Coit going to find Saunders on the wing. He's going to find Mills in the corner. Back up Saunders. Now Coit asking for the screen from Metcalf. He uses the screen. As Coit, little step back 3, top of the key, wide open. Coit gets it again. His second 3 of the half as the Terps go up by double digits.
And Coit is feeling it from deep. He has the hot hand right now.
Here's a little pass off. Going to find inside is Justin Amati, who's turned away. Here's Coit. Coit in transition, tries to throw the lob to Saunders. Turned over there, McKeldin's got it. Saunders fighting for the board. Bodies flying on the court as that one's going to go to a jump ball. Things getting aggressive here in College Park for the first time tonight.
Wow, we got a scrum going on here. A lot of energy. Buzz Williams is all the way out onto the court. Terps fans are loving this right now. Donnie Lind also came all the way out into the paint as a jump ball that I think just carried over right there. This is a lot of energy from this Terp squad.
Yeah, a lot of physicality to start off this second half. I think both squads know that this one holds a lot of bragging rights in the state of Maryland. Any team trying to knock off the champs of this Maryland battle that the Terps have had over the last couple of weeks. But as for Mount St. Mary's, they come away with that jump ball, and so it'll be possession for the Mount.
Yeah, winning the possession there, but see Buzz Williams and the Maryland bench super energized. Love to see that hustle from Elijah Saunders fighting for his team.
Here's a press from Maryland, just an easy half court, and they still haven't gotten across. Now Mountain gets it across the Maryland logo. Here's Mason So outside. Gonna give it off to Keys. Arlandis Keys tries a deep one from outside. Keys off front rim, a putback attempt there from Amadi. Not gonna go, he'll go to the floor, but it looks like he'll go to the line for two.
Nice job right there by Keys, being aggressive. I think if you can get Maryland into foul trouble, especially their players that are on the floor a lot, something that they haven't done so far this game, so Maryland can keep being aggressive defensively, but especially after that last play there, James, we'll see if the intensity turns up a bit.
Okay, here's Amadi, his trip to the line tonight. It'll be Amadi's first trip to the free throw line, and that one's off back iron. As a womp 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 plays in College Park. Mount trying to get within single digits.
Some Xfinity Center's gotten a little bit louder so far. It's a little bit quiet to start. Fans are still filing in, but giving this team a lot of support so far.
There's Andre Mills on the inbound, able to get it to Diggy Coit. Now Watts gets it at half court. Watts is trapped, but finds Coit's hands. Coit gets it across half court, finds Watts again. Deep from outside the arc is Watts. Now Darius Adams getting his first touches of the possession. Adams uses the screen presented by Saunders. Now hands it off to Diggy Coit, who's got a deep three opportunity. Looked like he jab stepped for. Andre Mills in the corner. Mills, Maryland, off back iron there. As Darius Adams fights for the boards. Mason So has it in transition. Now Lipscomb. And now Keys. Arlandis Keys attacking, weaving through traffic. That one off the front rim. Rebounded from Maryland. In transition is Coit. Now gets it off to Andre Mills for a slam. The Terps moving with some magic in College Park in the second half.
What a throwdown by Andre Mills. Great read from Diggy Coit right there, giving him the pass instead of taking a contested lay.
Yeah, great court vision. As here's Arlandis Keys from outside. Keys' most recent game versus Cincinnati wasn't his best effort. This one's turned away. Darius Adams in Maryland in transition. Again finds Watts, who throws the lob to Elijah Saunders. That one turned over, just had a bad angle.
A little bit too far of a pass from Darius Adams right there. That's why it hit the bottom of the hoop.
Here's Mason So, gonna try and put the moves on Mills. Finds Lipscomb up top of the key, deep three off back iron. Rebounded from Watts. Maryland Isaiah Watts in transition, tries a little Euro step, blocked from behind. It's Arlandis Keys in transition as the Mount and Maryland bringing some energy to start off this second half. Maryland up 12. Back here in College Park at the Xfinity Center alongside Jackson Wantman, I'm James Consoli. And Jackson, there's some traditional flag dropping going on. There's a lot of dancing. There's Testudo, the mascot for Maryland, going crazy on the screen. Maryland bringing some madness in this second half so far.
Yeah, and the team's giving them some reason to be energized. Really aggressive play from the Terps. You saw a big dunk from Andre Mills earlier. Definitely giving fans reason to be loud and wave that flag.
And here we have Isaiah Watts and Maryland moving around. Andre Mills getting touches in the corner. A pin screen from, here it is outside, a three. Just off the mark there from Saunders, who just set the screen. Rebound again from Darius Adams, who's been so strong on the offensive boards tonight. Here's Andre Mills on the wing. Mills guarded tightly from Lipscomb. Isaiah Watts driving baseline. Watts going to lean in. Watts going to try and go to the line, and he will. Isaiah Watts attacking as he tries to hype up his Maryland offense tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you just talked about Adams on the glass. That was his third offensive rebound of the night, and Watts staying aggressive. Only 2 points so far, but this will be his first trip to the line. See if he can add some more here with 14:50 left to go. Maryland up by 12.
Not only that, for Darius Adams actually leads this team in overall rebounds with 4 tonight. So crazy from the guard to be saying that, but Isaiah Watts unable to get the first from the line.
That's now been a rare Maryland miss since kind of the first half of the first half. They've been really sharp from the line so far tonight.
Isaiah Watts, the best free throw shooter on this team, shooting 86%. Can't believe himself that he missed that one, but it looks like Alex Alston for the Terps, a 6'10 forward out of Illinois, coming in, and he will take some minutes off as Mason So and Lipscomb crossing half court together for the Mount. A screen up top. Looks like it's going to be Yakia Diop. Diop touching the ball, guarded tightly from Alston. Mason So close to the Maryland logo. So going to drive in. So has it on his left hand. So leans in, tries to find Lipscomb up top. Lipscomb finds in the corner. Looks like DeVoe. DeVoe with a nifty spin. DeVoe going to try and get 2. Looks like he was fouled on the floor, so it's going to be an inbound. As DeVoe and the Mount try and build some momentum early in this second half, down 13. That wasn't the case entering the second half.
Yeah, Mount staying aggressive, keeping this game close. 13-point game, but certainly going to make it feel like less.
You see the turnovers listed as well, Jackson. 14 turnovers for the Mount as opposed to Maryland only having single digits. Here's DeVoe inside. DeVoe muscles in, gets the and one. Exactly what the Mount needed to build some momentum.
Yeah, and DeVoe, even on that last foul that got called on the floor, he's really working the pump fake, using it to his advantage there, and could get a 3-point play out of it to make this a 10-point game.
And here's DeVoe coming from the line. Has been pretty strong so far. 1 for 2 from the line, but leads his squad with 8 points. DeVoe now is the overall leader. 9 points tonight for Mr. DeVoe as Isaiah Watts transitioning quickly for Maryland. Moving quickly around the key, but now Maryland looking to set up a play. Alston with a little fake screen there. As Diggy Coit is outside. Coit driving in with his left hand. Coit with a little pull-up, stop and dribble. A rebound here from Yakia Diop as Mason So is in transition. So has Saunders on an island. And now it's Lipscomb on the wing. Lipscomb tries again. Got it from outside. It's Nylon.
Early offensive success here for Mount St. Mary's. They've been able to really dissect this Terps defense. Buzz Williams already getting some substitutions, maybe defensively with Delpino and Mills getting ready to check in.
A 7-point lead now for Maryland. 7 minutes into the second half. 53-46 as Darius Adams tries driving in and loses his dribble, and limping a little bit is Adams as now it's Buzz Williams for Maryland trying to bring some energy back into his team. Looks like we're going to see a couple different subs here. Guillermo Del Pino, the forward coming in. Going to the bench is Darius Adams, Diggy Coit, and Alex Alston as it's Guillermo Del Pino. Looks like it's going to be Colin Metcalf for Maryland, as well as Andre Mills.
Adams there looked like he was limping towards the end of the bench. We'll see if he's okay.
Here's another 3 from the Mount, off in the corner. Fouled on the floor, though, and it's going to stay Mount's ball offensively as Del Pino goes to the ground, as well as Justin Amati from the Mount.
Mount definitely getting some momentum here right now. It's a 7-point game. 13 minutes left to go. If they keep this up, it can make this game hard on Maryland.
And now it's an interesting time to shift things up for Buzz Williams and his crew, but he felt it was more than necessary to get some new faces in there and some new feet. So here's a deep pass for Mason So. Swung that one across the court like Mahomes. As now up top, here it is. Rosa Chaos. Now Mason So drives in. So finds Yakia Diop. Yakia Diop with a little hook off the glass. Good for Diop's first points of the night.
Wonder when we'll maybe see a timeout here from Buzz Williams. Maybe when they cross half court, but clearly something needs to change here. 8-0 run for Mount St. Mary's.
Here's Guillermo Del Pino trapped at half court, picks up his dribble, and that is exactly the call, Jackson, as head coach Buzz Williams of the Maryland Terrapin calls a timeout after they just had a double-digit lead, cut to 5. We'll be back here on WMUC Sports Radio. Don't go anywhere. Back here in Xfinity, the energy is electric, and the Mount St. Mary's Mountaineers have been able to cut the deficit to 5 as Maryland and the Mount are battling here for the 13th time. Possession for Maryland. Andre Mills looking for the impound. Going to find Colin Metcalf, tallest player on the court for the Terps, as Guillermo Del Pino swings it back up top. Isaiah Watts in Maryland. Watts going to dribble, drive across the lane. Watts swatted at the rim there. Yakia Diop with a big block, but Maryland able to get the rebound. Andre Mills drives in. Mills tries again. This one, the ball's flying in every which direction. Rebounded Mount. Mason So, as a shoe comes off from DeVoe in that last possession, as the Mount able to make a big defensive stop. Here's So dribbling across the key, guarded by Watts. So picks up his dribble, finds DeVoe outside. DeVoe drives on the wing. DeVoe throws it up, and DeVoe's got it. The Mount cut the lead to 3 as Maryland tries to score on offense but struggles.
DeVoe has been excellent for the Mount so far tonight as Mills draws a foul. He's got 11 points that leads the team by a fair amount. He's done an excellent job really working on this Maryland defense. We've got another timeout here.
Yeah, I think you kind of need to. I think Buzz Williams immediately out of that last timeout was not satisfied with his Maryland squad. This one, as Maryland is up 3. Jackson, I think we'll stay through for this timeout and keep the listeners going with some action. But What have you seen so far from this Mount team in the last couple of minutes?
I just think right now they're playing with a lot more energy, James. You know, they have really found a way over these last 2.5 minutes to get the ball where it needs to be, whether it's being in the right place in the right time on the glass, getting the right shots. They're not forcing anything. They're letting the game come to them. They stayed calm, and I think they've got Maryland in sort of all kind of whack. They're kind of out of whack right now. Terps are kind of seem a little flustered on offense. They're not communicating very well on defense, and I think Mount St. Mary's is doing a really good job taking advantage of that and making them pay for it.
No, you're exactly right, Jackson, as well as we see a 10-0 run from the Mount St. Mary's Mountaineers in the last 2 minutes. Maryland's going to have to try and figure something out because this is a team that was just up by 13 points, and now they're only up by 3.
Yeah, and I think so far this season in these first few games, we've seen Maryland you can look at least one portion of every single game where they've had a spurt where the offense just goes non-existent. I mean, they haven't scored in the last 3 minutes. We saw it against Coppin State. We saw it against Marquette. We saw it against Alcorn State. We saw it against Georgetown, too. They have these moments where the offense kind of goes cold, and they eventually figured it out. I mean, obviously, Georgetown, they weren't able to get the win. But in those other wins, they were able to find a way to right the ship. And I think right now is a pivotal moment. We're halfway through the second half, final 12 or so minutes left to play. Buzz Williams can kind of just get his guys to calm down, let them settle in, and I think they'll find a way right here to maybe play to their strengths.
I like how you said that, Jackson, playing to their strengths, which has been driving inside, drawing free throws. So far, Maryland has been able to draw 25 free throw attempts and make 19 of them. So shooting exceptionally well from the free throw line, a 76% team high so far for this squad. Yeah. And as for Mount St. Mary's, what can they continue to do to keep this run going?
Just keep being aggressive. Keep playing with high energy. Keep doing that half-court, full-court press, trap, whatever you want. I think that's what's kind of gotten Maryland out of all sorts of whack. They got the energy right now. They're making Maryland tired. And I think another thing, too, when we talk about that righting the ship, this is one of those moments where I think Maryland sort of relied on Pharrell Payne. We saw in a couple games where when they were kind of shot-chucking a little bit, they gave it to number 21 in the paint, and he was able to get some easy buckets. We'll see how they manage without him.
And now up top, we're back in play. Darius Adams and Andre Mills driving in for Maryland. Mills going to try and get their first points in this 10-0 deficit. Mills goes up again, gets his own rebound, gets fouled. He'll go to the line.
That's perfect right there. Start getting some easy points. Nice Mills being aggressive right there despite the height deficiency. Not stopping right there, keeping the energy up. Nice to see Maryland still being aggressive here.
Here's at the line is Andre Mills for Maryland. Mills so far can't get the first one off the back iron.
That's not what you want for Maryland right here. I think him getting the second free throw is going to be very, very important.
Maryland ends the deficit there, their first time scoring in over 2.5 minutes. As now here's Mason So on the inbound. Got it over to his guy and Arlandis Keys. Back to So. So guarded tightly by Diggy Coit. A little screen from DeVoe. And now Keys up top. Got the ISO on Saunders. Keys gonna look down low. Finds DeVoe. Outside is Lipscomb. Lipscomb got it again. Mount St. Mary's cuts the lead to 1 in the second half.
And I think with the height deficiency for Maryland, not having size, they've been forced to double guys like McKeldin and Lipscomb down in the paint, and it's allowed Mount St. Mary's to have an open 3.
Now Coit and Andre Mills barely get it across half court. Here's Isaiah Watts. Elijah Saunders on baseline, goes up against DeVoe. Saunders throws it up. Saunders can't get the roll. Rebounded from Mount. They have a chance to take the lead on this possession for the first time in the second half. Here's Mason So in transition for the Mount. So another screen from DeVoe. And now touches all across the key. Justin Amati gets the top ball. Lipscomb goes inside. Outside Mason So. That one can't get it to go, but another rebound from Justin Amati. As looks like an offensive foul there from Amati, and so Maryland will get the possession.
Had the open 3 too. Maryland really needs to tighten up here on both sides of the ball.
Here's Andre Mills on the inbound, finds Isaiah Watts. Maryland trying to break the press, one more, Diggy Coit. Little spin move action, enough to get it across half court. Coit gonna drive in. Coit, Andre Mills outside. Coit and Mills settle it down. Coit sends the pin screen. As up top is Darius Adams. Adams drives in, Adams with the lefty. Can't get it to go, but Adams gonna go to the line.
Listen, right now, for the players on the floor, well, that was So's fourth foul. Orlandis Keys has 3 fouls. Trey DeVoe has 3 fouls. If nothing else, Maryland is putting Mount St. Mary's top players in this game in some serious foul trouble. And if they can get them to foul out, you know, Mount St. Mary's does not have the depth to compete with Maryland.
No, Jackson, you mentioned those free throws, the disparity between these two squads. Maryland has over 20 attempts more at the stripe tonight than Mount St. Mary's. So the Mountaineers, I mean, and that's not to say they haven't been attacking the hoop, because they certainly have been attacking the hoop, but Maryland just drawing more fouls offensively and going to the racks more frequently. As that first one from Darius Adams able to get it to go, see if he can get the second. Adams swishes the second as Maryland brings the lead back to 3 points.
We'll see right here. If you're Maryland, try to string together some stops into points. Complementary basketball.
Here's Lipscomb. Here's Keys. They cross half court. Now just crossing the Maryland logo. Keys has Adams on an ISO, but up top, setting the screen, is Luke McKeldin. Now Lipscomb. Back to Keys. Keys tries a deep 3. Keys has got it. The Mount is red hot in the blue as Maryland is trying to keep the lead, but now it's tied at 56.
And the 3-point shooting from Mount St. Mary's, we're 47% on the game so far, and they have just been sensational.
Has now a lot of energy and emotion as Andre Mills tries to get it across half court. The Mount is bringing the energy. Here, this last possession was Justin Amati pressing Maryland, and Maryland is struggling to get the ball across the logo.
I wonder if they're calling that a turnover. Whose ball? That I think it's staying Maryland, but nearly a disastrous turn of events here. Mount St. Mary's, you can see in their bench, they're all standing up. They're all getting active there on the sideline. It's a tale of 2 different energies right now for Maryland and Mount St. Mary's, and we'll see if Maryland can tighten up here. It's a tie game now, 9.5 minutes left, and Mount St. Mary's is going to stick with that trap that they've been going with all game. Adams going to inbound it here.
Here's Darius Adams, throws a deep lob, and that one just goes completely out of bounds. Adams trying to force it there, and now Maryland struggling, and some boos coming from the crowd.
And you can see is Adams, obviously the youngest player on the floor here. A little bit, like you said, forced it a little bit too far there. Not the smartest pass, and you can see the trap really frustrating his Maryland offense.
And now the Mount has an opportunity to get their first lead of the second half. DeVoe going to try and make it early. DeVoe's got it from outside. The Mount takes the lead for the first time in this second half.
Unbelievable from Mount St. Mary's here. 5 for 9 from deep in this second half. They cannot miss right now.
And here's Andre Mills looking to respond for Maryland. The Mount definitely has the Terps on their heels. Here it is. Diggy Coit almost losing the possession as Justin Amati is playing absolutely in-your-suit defense. Here is Coit. Coit off front rim. Mills with a tough rebound. Mills able to give the Terps and put them within 1.
And that was a much-needed bucket there from the Terps. Sometimes you just need to see one go in.
And now here is Orlandis Keys getting it off to Lipscomb, who's been floor general for this squad all night. Lipscomb finds Keys again, and why not try one from outside? He's got it. They can't miss. Mount St. Mary's owning Xfinity at the moment.
Unbelievable from Orlandis Keys. He cannot miss right now. He is feeling it. You're seeing him taking some deep shots, too.
That one is from Curry range. He's trying to set a new record for deepest 3 in Xfinity, as Elijah Saunders going to try and brute force his way in. Going to be called a travel there.
And this is the worst case scenario right here for Maryland. They are out of sorts. They are letting Mount St. Mary's shoot the ball at will, turn the ball over, and you know, still plenty of time here, but you can see both teams starting to feel it one way or the other of what this game might end up looking like.
As Justin Amati will be subbed off there, and in comes Rosa Chaos. And stretch 4 sharpshooter for this Mount St. Mary's squad. And who else other than Orlandis Keys bringing the ball down? Here's Lipscomb. They're trying to lock off Keys right now because he is sizzling from outside. Here's a screen here from Luke McKeldin. Outside, Rosa Chaos off the top of the backboard. That one won't go. It's going to go out of bounds.
Mount St. Mary's this half outscoring Maryland 30-18. See someone figured out here. Let's see someone take over for the Terps right now. They're passing around a lot, and you like to see that, but you want to see someone be the guy. They need some offense right now.
And here's Diggy Coit trying to provide that spark for Maryland. Coit going to drive in, inside hand, can't get it to go, turned away. Luke McKeldin in transition, DeVoe in transition, got it off the glass. DeVoe and the Mount just piling on the lead.
This is just unbelievable basketball right here for Mount St. Mary's. Maryland has no answer for them right now.
And here's Andre Mills, Darius Adams. Adams, little nifty fake inside hand dribble. Gonna try and pass it there, it's turned away. The Mount able to keep it alive, it's Lipscomb saves the ball. Rosa Chaos, now back to Lipscomb as he crosses half court. Lipscomb, and you can imagine that head coach Donnie Lynn for the Mount is ecstatic right now with his squad's performance. The Mount has never beaten Maryland, as now we have it Luke McKeldin at 21. And now that one going to be called a foul on the floor, and it looks like we're going to get our first timeout of this.
We have the under 8 media timeout, it looks like now.
Under 8 media timeout, as Maryland is losing in the first time in this second half, down 6 points as the Mount cannot miss. They've been scoring on all fronts. We'll be back here in just a moment on WMUC Radio. Welcome back to this cold Wednesday in College Park, but it is everything but cold for the Mount St. Mary's Mountaineers as they've been sizzling from outside. Alongside Jackson Wantman, I'm James Consoli. And Jackson, what have we seen from Mount St. Mary's coming out of this?
Well, I think we're seeing one team that knows exactly what they're doing and has a plan offensively. They're orchestrated. And then you look at Maryland, who seems all out of sorts. They don't really know what they're doing on either end.
Here's Keys from up top again, his first miss in some time, as Maryland will grab the rebound. It's Diggy Coit crossing the Maryland logo.
Maryland's 1 for 10 for their last field goals. Need to get the offense going.
Here's Coit, just kind of waiting for the play to brew as Metcalf has it. Sets a fake screen for Coit. He's got it alone in the corner. Isaiah Watt's going to try his first three in a while as Watts can't get it to go. Back out, Diggy Coit. Coit's got it as Maryland cuts the deficit to 3 and the Xfinity starts erupting.
That's a big shot for Maryland. Maybe that kick starts some momentum for them.
They certainly need it as two of last 12 field goals. Maryland has been struggling, but here's Arlandis Keys. He's had no problem getting buckets tonight. Here's a hook there from the mount. Can't get it to go. Bodies flying on the floor. Going to be called a jump ball. This one should go Maryland's way. And it will.
Nice hustle right there from Watts.
And great job for Watts on getting that defensive rebound. That's a big one as they're trying to battle for the momentum back from outside tonight. The Mount is shooting a team high 50%.
That looked like a push right there. It looked like Maryland recovers, but
here's Diggy Coit, finds Isaiah Watts. Coit back out, wide open, deep 3. Coit can't miss as he gives the Terps back in 64.
Nice recovery from Maryland. It looked like Darius Adams got pushed there when he was closed out. I don't know what you think about it, James, but really nice recovery from Maryland.
Here it is, Arlandis Keys, the man that couldn't miss. Driving in, Keys finds Lipscomb out top. Lipscomb doesn't turn this one over. Justin Amati throws it up, rebounded Adams. Here is Elijah Saunders, gives it off to Coit. Coit's had the hot hand. Coit gonna drive in. Coit with the right hand. Coit off the rim, but he will go to the line and shoot 2.
You know, I mentioned before, James, how somebody needed to take over offensively for the Terps. David Coit had 18 points at halftime. Hadn't seen him so far in the second half. He's got 24 points now tonight. He's going to go to the free throw line. Really nice job by him, the veteran, taking over and putting the game in his hands.
Something about a Maryland guard around that 5'11", 6-foot mark is something special in the red and gold for the Terps. As Coit gonna swish this first one, no surprise there as he can't miss from 30 feet. Wouldn't be surprised if he missed from 10. As Coit gonna try and go 2 for 2 from the stripe. He just gave Maryland the lead off that last one. Coit brings the lead to 2 as Maryland gets the lead back in the second half with 5 minutes remaining in College Park.
It's a quick 8-0 run for the Terps in just a minute.
Here's Lipscomb, now Mason So. So has Isaiah Watts pretty much on an island. Here comes the ball screen from Luke McKeldin. McKeldin sets the screen and gets out of there. Lipscomb up top. Lipscomb says, I'm going to let it fly. Lipscomb giving the Mount the lead back in College Park with just over 5 minutes remaining. Maryland just took the lead back, but now they have to battle from behind.
Really nice job by Lipscomb. He really said, why not let it fly? Just let it go. Shot that thing all the way from Paris, but nice job. Now Maryland don't feel like they're as flustered anymore. I think those buckets really made them feel more confident offensively. Feel like they can stay in the game as now it's 66-67.
Yeah, I think you got that right, Jackson. I think they're just trading off buckets at this point, but now it might come down to a shoot-off, right? Who's going to make the last bucket and who's going to get the last possession? As we start to tick down this clock, it's going to start to fly. We're at 5 minutes right now. We'll be at 1 minute in no time at all. It'll move quickly.
It will, and I think right now in these last 5 minutes, it's going to go who can keep their composure the most. Who's not going to fail or flail in these moments where it's going to come down to a couple of possessions. And we look at Mount St. Mary's are an older team. Maryland's a little bit of a younger team, but they got some guys who have been there, done that. They've obviously got the crowd on their side.
They do have the crowd, that's for sure, as everybody's on their feet in College Park. This will be the first time ever if Mount St. Mary's could pull off a win here in College Park over the Terps. We'll see if that can happen.
Another full court press right here from Mount St. Mary's.
As Maryland looking to beat the press, Diggy Coit, and the Mount St. Mary's kind of take the pressure off Coit as he crosses half court. Elijah Saunders. Now Darius Adams from outside. Adams tries to drive baseline, can't get rid of it. Now finds Coit up top. Colin Metcalf sets another fake screen. Coit looking for another wide open 3. He'll get another wide open 3. This one, surprise, surprise. Coit can't hit that as this one will go Mount St. Mary's way.
Only nothing you can do about that. Yeah, the open look just rimmed out. Really good shot from Coit. Can't be mad about that one. It's an unlucky miss.
Oh, you're right, Jackson. Can't complain about that as So will give the inbound to Lipscomb, and now he'll take it himself. Lipscomb looking to cross half court, picks up his dribble though. And now So has it on the wing. So gives the ball off here. Now Lipscomb up top. Looks like he'll find DeVoe in the corner who's going to drive baseline. Back out to So. Here's Amadi. Amadi blocked by Metcalf. Amadi gets back in and starts to weave his way like a snake through the lane. Gets that one to go. Mount, 3-point lead.
Great job by Colin Metcalf on that block. Just really nice interior offense from Amadi.
Here's Andre Mills, and now gets it off to Isaiah Watts. Diggy Coit. Coit and Mills. Trading the ball back and forth. Mills gets the screen for Metcalf. Mills drives inside. Mills off the glass, can't get it. No rebounded. Rebound now from Mount St. Mary's and Lipscomb. Lipscomb with his 5th rebound of the night, all defensive. Lipscomb has the ball up top. He might let it fly. He's been able to do that well tonight as he just Euro steps through traffic and gets it all the way. Lipscomb, a 5-point lead for the Mount.
And they are feeling it on the Mount St. Mary's side with their contingency here. That's the last timeout for Buzz Williams, or it looks like that's his second to last timeout right there, but now we got 3 minutes left. Maryland's down 5. Right now is when you need to start figuring it out because now we know this one's going to come down to the wire.
Yeah, it's definitely going to come down to the wire, and we can see the struggle for Farrell Payne not being in the game right now. It's hurting Maryland, but we'll be back in just a moment. Thank you for joining us back in College Park as Maryland and Mount St. Mary's both looking to come away with a win here at Xfinity Center. And alongside Jackson Wantman, I'm James Consoli. And Jackson, this is a big one for both teams, and the Mount looking for his first win in series history between these two. Yeah, it would be a historic win for Mount St. Mary's if they're able to get it done. Still some time left to play here. We'll see what Maryland can do. Big possession for the Terps. Diggy Coit shuffles it off to Darius Adams. Adams has it up top. Now Andre Mills, all three standing outside the key, as well as Isaiah Watts in the far corner. Here's Coit, gonna get it back up to Andre Mills. Mills gonna try and take it inside, but it's fouled there from Lipscomb. Looks like a reach in. This job by Mills, done a great job of getting the whistle. And so now this one should bring Andre Mills to the line as they are in the bonus. If the Mount have 9 fouls over Maryland. So now Mills will shoot 2 to cut it the lead within 3. Mills can't get the first, but it's 1-1, so that one is actually rebounded from Mount. Tough for the Terps, as now Mason So
And that should be a backcourt. Yeah, they didn't get it over in time.
And that is the first of the night, as Maryland gets caught a break there.
Big time.
Mount St. Mary is surprising there that they weren't able to get the ball across. They haven't had a struggle with that all night. How about in the last 3 minutes?
Yeah, not enough pressure from Maryland for Mount St. Mary's to really feel like they couldn't get the ball over.
And so now here's Diggy Coit from the Terps. And Darius Adams from outside on the wing. Adams going to try one from deep. Adams off the front rim. Now Mount St. Mary's has the rebound. Mason So
That was not the shot from Adams.
gets the screen from Amadi, but doesn't use it. Lipscomb has it up top. Lipscomb has a chance to make this lead even more. Lipscomb drives in. Outside So. Good defense from Maryland. See if they can keep it up. So has a wide open three. So takes it, lets it fly. That one. Rebounded Amadi and Mount. Throws it off the foot of Maryland, but this one actually must have touched Mason So's foot before going out. This one, Maryland gets caught a break.
I think you should really aim to get a bucket here for Maryland. We got 2:15 left to go, and the more you wait, the more time goes down, and pretty soon you might run out.
Maryland not looking to run out right now, as here is Diggy Coit crossing half court for the Terps. Coit has Amadi covering tightly, gets the screen from Saunders. Coit with a little hezzy. Coit drives all the way to the rim, can't get the and one, but will go to the line. Maryland down 5. Coit's going to have to make 2 to cut this lead.
Nice job by Coit. Really would like to see him keep trying to take over offensively. He's had the hot hand tonight.
And Coit is extremely aggressive tonight so far. He's got 26 points for the Terps. Can make 28 here. He'll get to 27. Surely but steadily is Coit leading this team by nobody's even within double the points that Coit has for the Terps tonight. The next closest is Darius Adams with 13. Coit gets the second, now 28 points for Diggy Coit. He's been cooking tonight. As now Maryland's crowd trying to get some momentum late in this one.
It's loud in the Xfinity Center, as loud as it's been all night.
Here's Lipscomb. And now DeVoe gets it off. Arlandis Keys, who's been hot from outside. Keys tries the ISO, can't get it to go. Fed inside. Maryland's defense able to stay strong there, as Isaiah Watts tips that one out of bounds. Going to stay the possession of the Mountaineers. 6 seconds to go on the clock.
Yeah, and I think you just got to defend here and get the rebound. I think seeing Maryland try to double the ball a little bit, risk there is you don't want to get caught out of possession and leave Mount St. Mary's with an open shot with the way they've been shooting this half.
And now here's Lipscomb looking for the inbound. Lipscomb finding hands inside there. Looks like it's McKeldin. In transition is Maryland. Diggy Coit with 1.5 minutes to go. Finds Darius Adams. Adams weaves through traffic, gets fouled as he goes to the rim. Adams has a chance to bring this game within 1.
Great defensive stop right there from Maryland. They crashed the paint, brought numbers in, and nice job turning it into some offense potentially right here. Big free throws coming for Adams. He's 11 for 13 from the line tonight. 11 of his 13 points have come from the stripe.
And I think you may have jinxed him, Mr. Wantman, as Darius Adams misses that first one from the line. Now the lead still 3 points as he can try and cut it to 2. And he won't, but a rebound, a big one from Andre Mills. Back out Isaiah Watts. 3 is better than 2. Watts ties the game at 71 with 1 minute and 15 seconds remaining.
That's number 7, Andre Mills, with that offensive rebound. He's been sensational in these last couple of minutes.
A big rebound from Mills gives Maryland the opportunity to tie it, and they did. 71. Lipscomb has it outside. A cross-quarter pass to DeVoe. DeVoe finding in the corner is Lipscomb. Lipscomb brings the lead back to 3 as the Mount has a 3-point lead in the second half. 55.5 seconds remaining.
And I'm not sure why you're doubling ball there, James. I mean, that's the risk you run when you double, is that you can leave someone open for 3. And it's not like Maryland was losing. They had the game tied. I understand the wanting to be aggressive on defense, but Now you left a shooter open for 3, and now you're right back to square one, essentially.
And not only that, too, Jackson, but the guy you leave open is 80% from three-point range. You can't allow that. That is a mental lapse for Maryland's defense, and that's why they are down 3 with 50 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like, you leave a shooter like Lipscomb, who's been, like you said, he was 3 for 4 before that shot. He's now 4 for 5. It's now interesting to see if Maryland goes for the 2 and tries to get a stop, or they try to tie the game right here. Really crazy turn of events right now in Xfinity Center. Unexpected probably to a lot of people in the stadium. I'll give you credit, though. You said this game was going to be close. It's going to be harder than people thought. It's exactly what we're seeing.
I think people underestimated this Mount St. Mary's team because they have never beat Maryland in the 12 games they've played, but they like lucky number 13. It could be Wednesday the 13th here in College Park. As now Maryland has really one last strong opportunity with this 30 seconds on their shot clock. A fresh 30 for this Maryland squad. Here's Darius Adams. And now Maryland needs leadership now more than ever to keep this streak alive. Adams picks up the ball at half court after it's rolled from Andre Mills. Mills, Coit, and Adams with a weave. Now Adams has it. ISO'd up top against DeVoe. Elijah Saunders gives it back to him.
Can't take too much time here.
No, and here's Adams. Here's Watts. They're going to have to attack. Watts is going to be the one to do it. Watts gets inside but isn't fouled. Rebounded from Mount and fouled immediately. Darius Adams fouls DeVoe, and that looks like DeVoe might go to the line.
That's just not a great offensive possession from Maryland right there. Not a bad look from Watts, but looks like it'll just be an inbound right here from Mount St. Mary's.
Maryland gets lucky with it just being an inbound, but alas, they are still down 3. Now they don't have possession. There's 34.8 seconds on the clock, 30 seconds on the shot clock, and now getting inbound here is Arlandis Keys. Mason So in transition. He's going to get fouled, and this one will bring them to the line for the Mount able to break it to a 5-point lead.
Now it's not where you want to be if you're Maryland, where you have to start fouling. It's 30 seconds left, not over, but just disappointing from the Terps so far. Definitely getting, don't want to say out-hustled, but Mount St. Mary's definitely playing with a little more composure, a little more energy. They know what they're doing. Maryland has seemed a little out of sorts on offense without much of a plan, but big free throws coming up.
Massive free throws, the biggest free throws of the game, and Mount St. Mary's hasn't had many of them. Mason So able to seal the first as they get a 4-point lead. The Mount, 30.8 seconds remaining in this one. Maryland, with the early foul, was able to keep the shot clock at 30, though, so they will have a good amount of time. Mason So sinks both, as now the Mount has 5-point lead. Maryland just under 30 seconds remaining here in College Park in this one. Diggy Coit, the guy that's been their leader all night. Diggy Coit gets inside. Diggy Coit with a big and one to cut the lead to 3, as he will try and cut it to 2.
Huge from Diggy Coit right here. Now, if he can bring this game to a 2-point lead, you can. It's not crazy to bank on Mount St. Mary's missing a free throw right here on the 1-and-1. Big free throw right here. Great from Diggy Coit, staying aggressive and giving Maryland a chance.
Talk about fearless from Coit. He able to notch 30 points on the night. The big 3-0, shooting a strong above 50% tonight so far. And Coit now gonna have to make this one to really make a difference, and now he has the chance to cut the lead to 2. The question is, who do you foul on the inbound if he does make it? But we'll take baby steps. Coit swishes it. 31 points for Coit, the leader of this Terrapin squad tonight.
Take away every passing lane right here. Every player should have a man.
And now the inbound goes to Keys. Keys has been a sharpshooter tonight. He'll get fouled from Isaiah Watts, and Keys is going to go to the line. Probably not the guy you want to see there.
No, Watts gave him just a little too much space. Good play call right there from Donnie Lynn of how he wanted his guys to set up.
But it's also Keys' first free throws of the night, so while he's 5 for 6 from beyond the arc, he hasn't seen the charity stripe tonight, and now he's going to get some freebies. Let's see if Keys can tack these on.
So 1-and-1 here. It's huge. If he misses this, you have to get the rebound if you're Maryland.
Keys, nylon. Ice in the veins as the Mount lead goes back to 3. Now a big miss Maryland's hoping for here.
Yeah, otherwise they're going to have to get a really quick bucket.
Keys misses the second. A big rebound for Maryland. The Terps, 20 seconds left. Here's Diggy Coit from outside.
No timeout from Buzz Williams.
Here's Coit. Coit with a step back 3. Airball, they're lucky that called that basket was off. And like you said, a timeout from Buzz Williams there as Maryland has 12 seconds left to keep the series win streak alive.
Yeah, I mean, nice job by Buzz Williams in the nick of time. Diggy Coit was not going to make that shot, and now you can draw something up here. We'll see if Mount St. Mary's decides to play aggressive defense, if they decide to foul. Very interesting seeing what Donnie Lynn decides to go with here on the brink of a historic win potentially if they can close this one out. It'll be really important here for Maryland to try your best to get a clean look. You don't want to, with the worst case scenario here if you're Maryland, is that you get into a situation where they defend so well where one player is trying to ISO and do a couple of dribbles and a step back. You want to get the best look possible, pass it around, maybe set a screen, get it to your first 1 or 2 guys. I think Andre Mills, Diggy Coit, maybe Isaiah Watts, even though Andre Mills is not at a 3 yet. So I maybe say Diggy Coit or Isaiah Watts should be your top 2 guys to look for right here. I would not want to see Darius Adams shooting a 3, maybe Elijah Saunders too. Both of them have been cold from beyond the range.
No matter who shoots the 3 though, Jackson, rebound. They have a chance for a second chance opportunity. If they can capitalize, that will give this team an opportunity to shoot a second 3. Maryland so far in this game from outside has shot 38%, so haven't been perfect, but a guy that almost is very close to that is Diggy Coit from outside, 6 for 8 shooting, 75%.
And maybe does Buzz Williams put in Alex Olston or Colin Metcalf? It looks like Metcalf will go in just to have a rebounder, a big guy down there in case of a miss. So let's see what happens.
But even that decides Watts is inbounding, so he decided to keep Watts in the game. Big decision there for head coach Buzz Williams in this one that now this Maryland team has 12 seconds left to prove they can fit in. Inbounded, here's Diggy Coit. Diggy Coit wastes no time. Coit pulls up from deep, and he's got it! Nylon as he ties this game at 77 with 10 seconds remaining.
Unbelievable.
Xfinity on its feet as Lipscomb drives in. No foul called. This one, Darius Adams pulls up from half court. Adams throws up a big lob. OT in College Park at Xfinity as a big shot from Coit sends it to extra time.
Unbelievable from David Coit. Said, put it in my hands, and I'm going to green it.
Coit has 34. He is red hot. He's shooting 7 for 9 from beyond the arc. Insane performance from Diggy Coit, the transfer from Kansas.
And also really good defense by the Terps right there. We saw it against, I don't want to, maybe relive some PTSD for Terps fans. When we go back to Michigan State last year, when Jacoby Gillespie, I know he missed the shot, Terps didn't really get back on defense. They kind of thought the game was over. Really nice job by this team, staying composed, not letting Mount St. Mary's get a great look. Almost got nervous for a foul right there. And Darius Adams, was going to be a long shot on the half quarter, but right now, Maryland, you bought yourself a lifeline. You just bought yourself 5 more minutes. Now you got to take a deep breath. Regulation's over with. Now you got to close this one out.
And Jackson, I don't know if you mind, but I don't mind an extra 5 minutes of this action. I mean,
no.
I think a lot of College Park natives, especially the students, have missed out tonight. The student section is not filled up, but the crowd in College Park is on its feet, and this place is erupting like a volcano.
Yeah, and to be honest, much respect to Mount St. Mary's in the game they've played tonight. Whether they walk out of this arena with a win or a loss, and I think the casual student here at Maryland probably didn't think much of it. And I don't necessarily think I can blame them, but Donnie Lynn has had his guys ready to go tonight. They have been exceptional on both ends, really testing this Maryland squad. We'll see what the resolve is for either side here.
And for the first time in history, if the Mount St. Mary's Mountaineers were able to come away with a win, that would be big for the program and maybe not the best sign for a new recruit coming into College Park.
No.
I don't know if there's any of those anytime soon, Jackson, but
yeah, that would be some timing.
But for Maryland, able to seal it. If you're just joining us now on WMUC Sports Radio, Diggy Coit is red hot. If you want a guy shooting the shot, number 8 in that red suit is the one to do it. He's got 34 tonight, and Coit is shooting amazingly from beyond the arc. He is 7 for 9 so far.
It's just been his story tonight. I mean, the next highest points is Darius Adams with 13. Coit has completely taken over offensively for the Terps. You love to see him being confident. That was not a timid shot from David Coit. He took that with full confidence in his ability to make it.
And so now we are starting to reach the first couple scratches on the hard floor in this overtime period that has brought everybody in possibly the state of Maryland to their feet. And it's a battle between two Maryland squads, one of them hoping to come home with all the bragging rights.
And this is a lot of energy in this building tonight. There's one thing the Terps have, it's the fans on their side.
And a lot of Maryland voices, faces, people on their feet as the tip goes to Mount St. Mary's. Here now is Keys from outside. Orlandis Keys drives in, goes baseline, finds Lipscomb up top, who finds DeVoe. Outside here is the first shot of the game from Rosa Chaos in this overtime period. And now Isaiah Watson, Maryland in transition. Coit, little pump fake from outside. Coit seems like he can't miss tonight. Coit, little fadeaway instead, finds Saunders inside. Saunders throws this one away as a strong defensive stance there from the Mount.
A little reckless from the Terps there. Nice job from Mount St. Mary's for recovering, but Elijah Saunders held on the ball for just a little too long.
I think that, but I also think Diggy Coit needs to take that shot. It's fading away, it's inside the key, but he hasn't missed very much, Jackson, and I think he's trying to, he's trying to avoid a bad shot, but for him, tonight nothing is a bad shot. And so Lipscomb and Mount St. Mary's get it across. Luke McKeldin, now DeVoe. DeVoe on the wing finds Keys. Keys stays hot as the Mount St. Mary's will score the first points of this overtime period. It's a big 3 there.
Really nice shot from Keys.
Outside is Darius Adams, who just crosses half court. Finds Diggy Coit. Now Andre Mills on the wing. Mills trying to set up a play. Shovels it off to Diggy Coit, who's fouled there by Amadi. Justin Amadi gets fouled as Amadi, that will be his 4th foul of the game. That's a big one, especially in this overtime period.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even see Mason So on the floor here. He's got 4 fouls. I mean, really important now with the fouls. Diggy Coit's already going to the line here.
This is the guy you do not want to see get free shots tonight. Even when their shots are not free, Diggy Coit is buying. And so now it looks like we're going to get our first timeout of this overtime period.
It's like an injury timeout here.
Yeah, I think that's Justin Amadi in the blue and gold shoes for the Mount, as we will take our first quick break of this overtime period. But don't go anywhere, because this might be the most entertaining thing in sports happening right now. Welcome back to College Park as the Mount St. Mary's Mountaineers are up by 3 points here in just under 4 minutes left in this overtime period, as now Diggy Coit able to cut the lead to 2. Coit red hot right now is Coit. He's got 36 as Mount St. Mary's up by 1 point with just under 4 minutes remaining in this overtime period.
Maryland staying aggressive on defense here.
Here's a throw down there. It looks like that was Justin Amati, who just came off the injury, immediately trying to attack Maryland.
Yeah, I think he got the foul call there, but I'm not sure if that was the most responsible play in this overtime period. His arm went all the way back trying to create a highlight. Amati, very athletic, but he'll still get a chance at some free points here.
Sometimes you get a little bit of confidence when you are up for the first time in a series that has been longer than almost as much time as 40 years between these two teams, and you've never gotten a win. So Amati, that first one is off the mark, as he will get one more attempt from the line to bring the lead to 2 with just about 3 minutes and 40 seconds left in this overtime period. The Mount is up. The fans are roaring here at Xfinity. Amati, nylon on the second, as Mount will get a 2-point lead. Inbounded now, Darius Adams for Maryland. Adams crossing half court, guarded tightly by Mount's DeVoe. And now, here's Amati again. Andre Mills. Mills takes it to the wing, takes Lipscomb baseline. Lipscomb foul there, as Mills will now take a trip to that charity stripe and now try and tie this one up at 81.
Yeah, really nice job by Mills here as we got 3.5 minutes left to go. And Maryland, that's kind of been the formula tonight, is getting to the line, forcing some foul trouble for Mount St. Mary's. But after these free throws, you really got to lock in on defense on the other end, get a stop.
Here's Andre Mills, had some critical boards tonight for Maryland to give them second chance points. And Mills gets Maryland to 80 points. And now, no subs right now for head coach Buzz Williams, keeping his guys on the court. Mills going to try and tie it at 81, just over 3.5 minutes. Mills gets the second. We're tied at 81 apiece. It's loud in this Xfinity Center, only going to get louder as now Arlandis Keys from Mount St. Mary's and Lipscomb battling. They get it across half court. Light press from Maryland, guarded from Isaiah Watts. Watts. Keys and Watts on an ISO. Gets the ball to Lipscomb. Lipscomb outside, top of the key. Lipscomb surveilling, gets a screen. Lipscomb stripped. Diggy Coit hopped on it back is Mount St. Mary's. They have a jump ball now. This one, Maryland's possession. Just over 3 minutes remaining in overtime, and the Terps going to get a second chance to take the lead.
Phenomenal defense right there from Maryland. It was Diggy Coit sticking his right hand in on the ball. And with 3 minutes left, still tied at 81 here. Maryland's going to have a chance.
And now you can see Darius Adams on the side inbound. Andre Mills guarded tightly from Justin Amati out of Mount. Gets it across half court is Andre Mills. He's got a little breathing room. Let's see what Mills decides. 19 seconds on the shot clock. Just under 3 minutes were left and remaining in this one. Gets a screen from Watts. Now Diggy Coit on an island with Lipscomb. Gets the screen from Saunders. Opts not to use it. Coit, nifty dribbling. Finds Saunders up top of the key. Saunders, a big three, gives Maryland the lead with just over 2.5 minutes in this first overtime period.
Well, welcome back, Elijah Saunders, giving Maryland the 84-81 lead. Really nice shot from him at the top of the key. 2.5 minutes left to go. This is the witching hour, James.
Yes, it is. Lipscomb up top. He's been red hot from outside. Lipscomb's 80% from three tonight, and he's got Diggy Coit one-on-one. Gets a screen from DeVoe. Now the switch on Andre Mills. DeVoe outside, a match. Just off front rim, rebounded from Amati. Justin Amati throws it off Maryland, and this one's going to stay in possession for Mount St. Mary's.
Great defense right there from Maryland. Got a little unlucky with the kick out right there, but the defense is really tightening up for the Terps.
As they look, this one is going to stay Mount St. Mary's ball. Don't be deceived. This is one of the plays they ran. All the players are at half court on this baseline inbound, but all but one go and rush the basket. They have Lipscomb, who has the ball outside for three. Finds DeVoe in the corner. Lipscomb on the wing. Darius Adams guards tightly. Gets the screen. Lipscomb drives in. Finds it. Keys outside. Keys gets it again to tie this one at 84. He hasn't been able to miss all game, and now he's 7 from 8 from outside. He's got 22.
Unbelievable. I mean, that's as good defense as you can play for the Terps. They've really now stuck with this man defense. They're not going and doubling the ball. They're switching off screens. It's been fantastic from them. But, I mean, Arlandis Keys just cannot miss right now. He's been absolutely sensational, willing Mount St. Mary's back.
And how about this one, Jackson? This one is box office. I wish all of you listeners were able to see this in College Park. A lot of students did not show up to Xfinity tonight thinking, oh, Mount St. Mary's, who is that? Maybe a lot of them don't even know that's a Maryland school, but they have showed up. And they're looking for their first win in program history over the Maryland Terrapins. They could get that tonight. It very well looked like they were going to get that before this overtime period as Diggy Coit hit a big three from Maryland to send this one to overtime. We're at 84. There's 2 minutes left in this overtime period. Is there anything you're expecting to see within the next minute or so?
Yeah, I think both the teams are probably going to let it fly. I think Mount St. Mary's definitely will. I mean, Arlandis Keys and David Coit are clearly the #1 players for each team right now, and we'll see what happens. Mount St. Mary's going back to this full court press right now.
A lot of emotion, a lot of energy here in College Park. Diggy Coit crossing half court. Just going to be light press here, nothing crazy because they want to have all 5 guys back. Diggy Coit takes Keys on a nice little baseline fade. Coit can't miss! Diggy Coit, he's got 38 as Maryland takes the lead once more.
86-84 now.
Here's Lipscomb. Looks like he's going to drive baseline. Takes it off the pedal there, and now up top, Arlandis Keys, who's 7 for 8 from beyond the arc. I wonder how they're going to play him. Coit's on him, and now he switches. Isaiah Watts has got him. Here's DeVoe from Mount St. Mary's. DeVoe drives in, finds Amadi, goes out of bounds. Just 5 seconds remaining on this shot clock. There is 1 minute and 14 seconds left in this first overtime period. Maryland is up to 86-84.
Nice job by Watts getting Keys to stop his dribble. And now you just got to defend for 5 seconds and get the rebound. And that looked like it went off Mills there for sure.
And now we have Lipscomb inbounding. He's been running point for this Mount team all night. They try and run a play. It looks like 2 screens down low. Nobody can get open, though. They might not get this inbound in. They do, just at the nick of time. Arlandis Keys has it from outside, throws it up. A prayer off the rim, rebounded from Justin Amadi and Mount St. Mary's. They have 16 more seconds on this shot clock. Lipscomb's going to drive in. He gets fouled up top from Diggy Coit.
Yeah, and that's good defense from the Terps right there for sure, but just kind of unlucky bounce off the rim right here. We got 1:04 left right here, James. This is what it comes down to.
The energy in College Park hasn't evaded the building yet as Maryland with 1 minute and 4 seconds remaining in this first overtime period. I wouldn't be surprised if this one went to a double OT, but I wish we could give you all the full picture. We're trying our best here, but here's Lipscomb from the line. Xavier Lipscomb has been such a strong player, 50% from three-pointer coming into this game, and he's at the free throw line now. Lipscomb lets it fly, he gets the first one. He can tie it with the second one.
86-85 now. This would be a big one to knot it at 86. Maryland, every time they've gotten a bucket, just have not been able to pull away.
Here's Lipscomb at the line. He can tie it here at 86. And that one rattles in and out. Maryland, a big rebound again from who? Andre Mills. Maryland and Diggy Coit crossing half court. There's 1 minute remaining, now 55 seconds left. Coit, a step back three from the wing. Coit can't miss. He's got 40. Coit brings the energy back to College Park as they are up by 4.
89-85, we got 45 seconds left. Huge shot from Coit.
Here's outside, it's Lipscomb. He's going to drive in for the Mount. He gets fouled going to the racks. This one should be on the floor, but both teams in the bonus, so it'll go to the line.
Unbelievable from David Coit. He hasn't done it since came to Division I college basketball from Atlanta Community College. He has not put up a performance like this. Just absolutely incredible, putting the game in his hands.
I think our audience would know better, but I think it's safe to say this is a career high for Diggy Coit. David Coit for the Terps, 41 points. Not only that, he is 80% from outside on 8 of 10 from 3. As here is Lipscomb for Mount St. Mary's, able to get that first free throw.
Yeah, and you were probably really hoping for just a stop right there if you were Maryland. Right now, Mount St. Mary's makes it a 2-point lead. You got 7-second difference between shot and game clock. They're going to play very aggressive defense. If you're Maryland, just try to bring it down as much as possible and then maybe get a dagger.
Here's Lipscomb. He can cut the lead to 2 off this free throw. There's 37.6 seconds remaining in this first overtime period. Lipscomb gets it. It's a 2-point lead for Maryland, as we will see a sub come in. Lipscomb's actually coming off, and Rosa Chaos for Mount St. Mary's subs in. And now, Diggy Coit looking for the inbound. Almost close to a 5-second inbound, but able to get it away is Darius Adams. He gets fouled as now Adams will go to the line, and this will be Adams's 16th and 17th free throw of the night. Or I guess the 16th because it's 1-1, but Darius Adams has 15 free throw attempts tonight.
Yeah, I mean, he's been sensational at getting to the free throw line. We've seen it early in the season from the young freshman. Really aggressive here. And with 35.6, he's going to get the full 2, can make this a 2-point lead here, or a 4-point lead.
This is SGA-esque, is Darius Adams at the line. Able to get it is Adams, and now Maryland has a 3-point lead. They've made it to 90 points. 35 seconds left in this overtime period.
You can make it 91-87 here. That would be huge.
Lipscomb subs back in for Rosa Chaos, and as well as Patrick Haig. And Justin Amati comes back in for him. 2 for 2 from the line is Darius Adams, as he's got 15 points on the night.
Now, if you can get a stop here if you're Maryland.
Lipscomb throws it down the court. It's Keys outside. Lipscomb and Mount St. Mary's. A little screen there. Lipscomb finds Keys. Keys lets it fly off the rim for the first time in a while for Orlandis Keys. Maryland going to go back to the line. Who else other than Darius Adams?
That is exactly what you wanted from the defense from Maryland. They didn't get too aggressive on that trap. They manned up on Keys. They're about as contested as you can get. And look, when a shooter's hot, the best thing you can do when they finally miss is get the rebound. Darius Adams, that was his 8th rebound of the night and is the most important one.
As now Adams, how about this? Now he's going for his 18th free throw of the night, and he can seal it. 18 attempts, not 18 free throws total, but now he's 14 for 18 is Adams. Darius Adams hoping to get another. He will. 15 for 19 tonight from the free throw line is Darius Adams. Maryland has a 6-point lead. There's 20 seconds left. Lipscomb and Mount St. Mary's trying to get rid of it. DeVoe from Mount St. Mary's. Lipscomb has a wide open 3 from up top. He can't get it off the front rim. DeVoe rebounds. Back out. Looks like Keys in the corner. Can't get it. Rebounded from Mount St. Mary's. This one runs out of bounds. This one's Maryland's way. Up 6. Less than 5 seconds go, and Maryland will have the ball. What a strong defensive stance from the Terps.
And Buzz Williams is going to take a timeout here. Just a phenomenal defensive stand from the Terps this overtime period. We know this hasn't been their best performance. We know they would have liked this game to be a little bit of a larger lead. It may have ended in regulation, but when they needed to, they got the stops, and now it's going to pay off for them. 6-point lead, 4.7 seconds left, and they'll be able to put this one away. Really nice job by Maryland. Really not giving up right there, despite a couple of offensive rebounds from Mount St. Mary's.
Fans leaving early, Jackson, but this game is still far from over. Sure, Maryland will go back to the line, and they're up 6 with 4 seconds remaining. I'm sure it's Darius Adams going back to the line, but for Maryland, we've seen crazier things happen, and there's less than 5 seconds to go, but the Mount St. Mary's was steaming hot for a while now.
Yeah, I mean, I would think I would hope Maryland does not relinquish a 6-point lead in 4 seconds. This one looking pretty good for them, but, you know, like we said, not their best performance. They probably would have liked to have this one over with in regulation, but you like to see that kind of resilience from this team in this moment where you have an opponent like Mount St. Mary's that knows the main way they're going to beat Maryland is with playing overly aggressive and playing like they have nothing to lose. And Maryland, credit to them. You know, we talk about a lot of these guys on this team are young. They haven't played together before, as a game clock just got adjusted to 5.1 seconds left. No, they haven't played that much together before, and even some players have admitted that it showed, but you like to see this type of character in a team. You like to see this type of fight. It's going to pay off for them tonight. Really nice job from them. They've obviously dealt with injuries. They've had no Solomon Washington at all this season. They've only had Miles Rice for a game. Obviously, Pharrell Payne, they don't have him tonight. We'll see how long he's out for, but credit to these guys, especially these 5 on the floor, really, really stepping up for the Terps. As Maryland, Diggy Coit will have the inbound here with 5.1 seconds left. Maryland up 93-87. And they're going to press heavily. Adams has got it. They're going to foul him quickly.
Yeah, Adams fouled there with just under 4 seconds remaining in this one. As for Maryland, up 6 seconds. 6 points, excuse me, less than 4 seconds. And so that will have Lipscomb walking to the bench as he is fouled out with 5 tonight. Little right-left chance as Lipscomb heads to the bench. Great performance for him tonight, 17 points for the Mount St. Mary's.
It's going to be a 20th and 21st free throw for Darius Adams. 15 of his 17 points. He's only made 1 field goal tonight. He's 1 for 4. That'll give him 18. Really sensational job by the freshman. I know I said this before. He's made a lot of hustle plays tonight, James. He's gotten some important rebounds. He's gotten some crucial stops defensively where we don't know where this game would be if, Mount St. Mary's has gotten another possession out of it. They'll probably dribble it out here, take one final shot, and we'll wrap this one up.
As that's exactly what's going to happen. Able to get it to go, though, is Rosa Chaos. And so for Maryland,
0.4 right here. Just a quick inbound from Maryland.
And Maryland will cap this one off. Andre Mills touches it as Maryland mounts a big comeback in this second half. 5-point lead for the Terps, 95-90 over the Mount St. Mary's Mountaineers. They will keep this streak alive. 13 games they've played since 1987 and 13 wins for the Maryland Terrapins. How about that performance as Jackson Wantman? What else is there left to say?
I think these last 2 games for Maryland have really shown fans, and maybe have shown themselves in that locker room, who they are. That was a really gritty win on Saturday against Marquette, and when you lost one of your top players in Pharrell Payne, and when you come in tonight, you never take any opponents you play in this game for granted, and I don't think Maryland did that, but for them to really fight back, it could have been really easy for them to get flustered and lose all their composure against Mount St. Mary's, but they did a really nice job of righting the ship. They made the shots they needed to make. They got the stops they needed to make, and they're going to walk out of here with a 95-90 win, and we know this team might not have the most talent on the floor. We know this is a brand new team, maybe different than what a lot of Maryland fans probably expected maybe in February and March when they had the Crab Five. They were under the impression some of those guys were going to return, but look, now for Maryland, you got a little bit of a rough stretch coming up. I don't want to say rough, but now their next set of games is the Players Era Tournament. They got UNLV on the 24th and then number 19 Gonzaga on the 25th. That's going to be the biggest test for Maryland up until this point, but they've shown that they can compete.
That's exactly right, Mr. Wantman. As for the Mount St. Mary's Mountaineers, they will head to Kalamazoo next to take on Western Michigan Broncos this Sunday at 3 p.m. We won't have coverage for that, but soon enough when Maryland is back in College Park facing against Wagner on December 2nd, we will have coverage for you then. Thanks for joining us on WMUC Sports Radio. I hope we provided adequate coverage for the night. Alongside Jackson Wantman, I'm James Consoli, wrapping it up for you tonight at Xfinity Center from College Park, Maryland. 95, Mount St. Mary's, 90.